beautiful and exotic collective. I hope this message finds you well. I was shuffling my channel messages earlier, and a few of them came out, and I feel inclined to share them with you. So I hope that they resonate. The first one that came out was share your story. So, what I'm picking up is somebody in this collective possibly has a unique story to tell, probably has the sort of life experiences that most of the people around them can't relate to, but you still feel inclined to tell your story in some way, whether you want to start a YouTube channel, whether you want to write a show, a book, or a movie. You still feel like it's prevalent enough and it's worth it enough to get it out in the open, to get it to somebody. But I also feel like with that comes maybe a little bit of internal pushback, because the message that came afterwards, right afterwards, says only factor in numbers when they matter. So I'm feeling like you want to get this message out, that you want to tell your story, that you want to still find people who relate, but because it's such a unique experience and because you feel that very few people will be able to relate to it, you feel that it may not be worth pursuing, but this is your sign to do it anyway. Also, we have you've suffered so much at the hands of others. So yeah, I'm definitely getting that you go through something, that you've been through something that very many people don't experience and won't experience, and it's mainly because of the people around you, the people in your vicinity. And the next message is trying to isolate you, so I feel that way even more so, unfortunately. And I get it, because we as exoticals tend to go through this, especially when we're younger, especially when we don't quite understand what's going on around us, especially when we don't quite understand the dynamic between us and everybody else. But yeah, and also unfortunately, something else that I'm getting with this is that because you suffered at the hands of others, and because you have a unique story, and because you've seen certain sides of people that most people don't get to and won't get to and don't really believe, you can feel isolated in your experiences and isolated in your beliefs. And on top of it, honestly, probably just have people trying to gaslight you, have people trying to tell you that, oh, this is a 1% situation, and oh, only you have gone through this, and da 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 da. And which, by the way, even if it is just a 1% situation, so what? Somebody's still experiencing it. So it's still valid. It's still influencing somebody's timeline. It's still influencing somebody's energetic field. So yeah, they can talk about it if they want to. Just because you don't experience it, or kicker, you're one of those people who perpetuate what collective is experiencing, of course you're gonna feel that way. Of course they're gonna be like, oh, this isn't a thing, but you know what, it is, and this is your sign that it is. So keep doing it and keep pursuing it. The next card that came out is new passion or interest. So honestly, as I'm talking about it, it kind of ties into my previous reading. I wonder if this is just a continuation for some of y'all, or if it's just another part to the reading that another part of the collective can resonate with. But take it how it resonates. This message is for somebody. But you could be really passionate about pursuing it. You could be over the hurdles of thinking that only numbers matter. It could be thinking that only a certain amount of people will be able to understand or grasp what you're talking about, which I hope you are. Like, I hope all my exoticals get to that level. But yeah, like, this energy kind of makes me think of you kind of moving past that and pursuing it anyway, and also owning that you survive things that would break most people, because you do. And maybe that's also why other people don't really experience what you go through, because maybe they start experiencing it and they crack, or they change as a person, it changes their whole world, they just give up. They don't come out on the other side like you have. You've seen the other side, you know what it's like to come out on the other side. So you live to tell the story. And I get that, because you've been through things that most people haven't. I'm sorry, because you've been through things that most people haven't. Of course, they can't relate to what you're going through. Of course, they can't relate to how the story ends because you're the one that came out on top and they didn't. So, of course, they won't be able to relate. And also, now that I'm actually talking about that, this makes the last message make a lot more sense. This says, urgent message: make sure your spiritual defenses are up. So, as you are embarking on this journey, and as you are a person who came out on the other side and you did survive the things that most people won't, that's naturally going to attract some dark forces. That's naturally going to attract people who don't mean well. So, as you're going through this journey, you need to make sure your spiritual defenses are up. You need to make sure that you're prayed up. You need to make sure that you personally aren't doing things to invite these demons and these dark influences in. And just make sure that you stay protected. Make sure that you vet who you're being around. Make sure that you're not around energy vampires or anybody who could potentially anybody who has or anybody who could potentially put this energy among you. You're on your way to do great things, and you can't have some nobody demon stop you from fulfilling your purpose, from doing what you're supposed to be doing.